The clouds continuing to build in. Again, 20% chance for an isolated shower or two, mainly to the east of the city of Atlanta is where you're going to find that. Mix of sun and clouds as we head through the day on Thursday. 40% chance for those scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some embedded thunderstorms will be found here and there. We're not looking at much in the way of any severe weather. And we'll continue that trend as we head toward the end of the week and into the weekend as well. Looking at a 50% chance for that rain on Friday. 50% chance continues for Saturday and Sunday. Because of the extra cloud cover and the rain, temperatures will drop back down, high temperatures at least, back down to the middle 80s, and then we'll continue that trend. 50% chance as we head into the work week next week. Don't go anywhere. We got much more show for you coming up after the break.
People who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people.
Kids are spending more time in front of screens because of digital learning, but should this cause parents to worry? Let's connect the dots.
For kids in virtual learning, more screen time will be unavoidable this school year, but should parents be worried about children glued to a screen all day long? Let's connect the dots. The question about screen time in kids is one most parents have to grapple with these days. And when it comes to the research, there are not a lot of clear answers. There are some studies that say increased time in front of a screen can lead to higher rates of obesity, and preliminary research suggests it could have some effect on short-term memory. So what do the experts say? Devorah Heitner is a digital media expert who literally wrote the book on kids and screens. Her big takeaway is that not all screen time is created equal. While we may see them playing Minecraft or Roblox as time wasted playing a game, in reality, kids can learn important things about creativity on Minecraft or managing money on Roblox. Also, there is a good chance screens could play a role in their future career, so knowledge and experience with how they work could be essential. But experts do agree time away from the screen is important too, as well as having honest conversations with kids about tech. Heitner told Salon.com kids should know that content online is often designed to be addictive. And if you really want to keep the lines of communication open, you might want to ask your kids how they feel about your screen time.
Academy shakeup, the changes aimed at bringing more diversity to the film industry. We'll be right back.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In a historic move, the Oscars are adding new diversity requirements to its Best Picture category. If a movie wants to be included in the category, it must meet 2 of the 4 new criteria. At least 1 lead actor or significant supporting actor must be from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. At least 30% of the secondary roles must be from at least 2 of the groups. The storyline, theme, or narrative must be centered on the same groups, and leadership and representation in the creative, marketing, and publicity departments must be from those underrepresented groups. The new standard takes effect in 2024. That'll do it for 11Alive News at 11:30. The news at noon starts now.
11Alive News at noon starts now.
COVID talk at the ballpark. The governor spotted at the Braves game, sharing his predictions for the future when it comes to the virus. Stepping down, Rochester, New York's top cops abruptly retiring amid protest over the death of Daniel Prude. Double voting, about 1,000 people accused of casting a ballot twice during the state's summer elections, where the investigation is headed now. And thank you so much for staying with us for 11Alive News at noon. I'm Sheepa Russell. We begin with that candid conversation at Truist Park, a much lighter interview with Georgia's governor on everything from COVID to the economic future of our state. Nick Sturdivant has more.
So we're glad that baseball and sports are back.
What started off as a conversation about sports quickly shifted to how Georgia is handling the coronavirus pandemic.
We're continuing to open up our economy, and as good as we've been doing the last several weeks, you think about what we've been opening during that time, and that is our schools and our universities, and it's not without issues.
Governor Brian Kemp weighing in during Tuesday's Braves-Marlins game. Kemp discussing everything from schools reopening to what the future could hold.
Well, you know, we've made incredible progress with our COVID numbers. Our percent positive continues to drop. Our number of cases has been dropping. Our hospitalizations, which is one of the most important things that I look at, that has dropped. We're in a really good spot right now.
Tuesday, nearly 23,000 COVID test results statewide were released. That's more than double the test on Monday. As of Tuesday, there were about 1,600 coronavirus patients in hospitals across Georgia. Kemp says he's hopeful to get fans in the stands, not only at Truist Park, but elsewhere.
I believe that we're going to see college football with some sort of fan base there, is my hope.
Governor Kemp also mentioned that while Georgia has many issues it still needs to work on, he'd like to get more people comfortable enough to help out the tourism and hospitality industries. Clinical trials for the University of Oxford's COVID-19 vaccine put on hold due to safety concerns. Drug maker AstraZeneca is investigating if a British patient's serious side effects are linked to the shot. In a statement, the company says it's pausing vaccinations to look into a, quote, potentially unexplained illness. AstraZeneca and Oxford University just entered phase 3 of the trials last week in the U.S., already recruiting 30,000 participants. 2 other possible vaccines produced by other drug makers are also in this crucial clinical trial phase. Recruiting minorities for these trials remains a big issue. The populations are still not diverse enough to develop a vaccine that works for everyone. Emory's top infectious disease specialist, Dr. Carlos Del Rio, talked about it during a briefing this morning, and Christy Diaz listened in.
It's hard sometimes to enroll minorities for a variety of reasons. Many of them are systemic issues of racism and discrimination, right?
Dr. Carlos Del Rio says even though abuse of minorities in clinical research doesn't happen anymore, there's a legacy that's hard to overcome.
There's a history of Tuskegee. There's a history of Henrietta Lacks. A lot of time as investigators, we spend time gaining the trust of the community.
COVID-19 has hit the African-American population disproportionately. That's why Dr. Del Rio says it is critical to have African-American, Hispanic, and other minority representation in the trials to make an effective vaccine.
The point is that the populations most impacted and most affected need to be represented in the trials.
At Emory, they have a recruitment team that works in the community they serve.
Our recruitment team is primarily African-American and Hispanic individuals who can actually go to the community. They look like the community. They can then talk to people in the community.
Emory is working with Moderna on a clinical trial as we speak and is actively recruiting with the goal of finding people age 65 and up with 30 to 40% minority involvement.
If and when we have a vaccine ready, if you didn't have enrollment of minorities, then people are going to say, well, why should I put the vaccine in myself? And the reality is we need minorities to be the first in line for the vaccine.
Starting today, all students in the state's largest school district will have the option to return to the classroom. Gwinnett County schools began phasing students back in for face-to-face learning about 2 weeks ago. Today, the last group of students were added in. These are grades 4th, 5th, 8th, 11th, and 12th. The district is requiring masks for students and staff unless they have a documented health condition. It also created one-way hallways and is taking other steps to ensure social distancing. We have known for months now that the pandemic has led to a spike in anxiety and depression for many people. Well, now a new study claims that's leading to an increase in eating disorders. Edward Moody reports.
Eating disorders thrive on secrecy, and pandemic shelter-in-place orders have provided just that for millions.
Suddenly, everyone was in isolation, having to change their routine or having a lack of routine and structure.
According to a new study in the International Journal of Eating Disorders, many suffering from anorexia have been restricting their eating more during the pandemic. Others with bulimia and binge eating disorders are doing just the opposite.
With the pandemic, suddenly people were panicking and going to the grocery store. They were afraid things were going to close down. So now, instead of following their normal routine and structure, they have access to food all the time.
Savannah-based counselor Lisa Clark with Water's Edge Counseling says she's been hearing what the study claims from her patients.
A lot of what we work on is just creating a new schedule, kind of like modifying life now that life is different. How are you going to maintain some of your positive behaviors?
Clark tells her patients to get outside regularly. She also says it's important to socialize in person safely or online as much as possible.
You know, get on a Zoom call with friends, talk to other people, how are you doing, and just stay in touch, whether it's, you know, family members or just friends in your city who you haven't been able to see.
She says eating disorders are pretty common in Savannah, in part because so many college students call it home for much of the year.
They struggle with stress and anxiety and a lot of that anyway. And again, sometimes food is a way they can feel like they have control.
Check in on your loved ones. Let's send it over to Chesley with a look at your forecast for today.
All right. Despite the fact that the clouds are starting to move in, you thought that was me, didn't you? You thought that was me.
Do you wish it was you?
I do. I do. Woo. All right. Despite the fact that the clouds are moving in, we're not going to see much in the way of rain. So if you're going out to the links to hit some balls around today, I think you'll be A-OK. Yeah, and temperatures will start to warm up on us a little bit there. Temperatures getting up to around 87 degrees for this afternoon. Very slight chance. I mean, maybe a sprinkle or two. It's about a 20% chance. So, yeah, you get out there and, ooh, I would join you. Got to work, though. We're looking at the clouds, heavier clouds over here toward the east. We're watching a stationary boundary that's here, making its way a little bit further to the west. It's pushing in more moisture our way, so that's why we're seeing the increase in clouds, and we'll see the increase in humidity as well, along with the better chance for the showers in the coming days. Right at 80 degrees right now in Atlanta, 76 over toward Carrollton, 82 in Rome, 78 degrees in Blairsville, 76 up in Clayton at the current hour. Again, getting up to 87 for the high. We'll drop back down to 81 by 7 o'clock tonight. So even if you got plans outside tonight to maybe even eat your dinner, I think you'll be okay. You maybe just want to keep an eye on the sky, but if you happen to get a shower, consider yourself fortunate, or your lawn at least fortunate. Hey, we got a lot of activity out there in the tropics. 4 areas that we're looking at, 2 named storms, and then 2 areas for development, one pretty close to us. We'll detail all that in the full forecast coming up. Sheba, back to you.
All right, Chesley, we'll see you soon. An update now on a story uncovered by 11Alive's Reveal investigators. The family of a man who died in the Cobb County jail has now filed a wrongful death lawsuit. The story, in fact, making national headlines. Video from the jail shows Kevel Wingo repeatedly yelling that he cannot breathe. Deputies and medical staff ignored his pleas, eventually placing him in a padded isolation room where he died a year ago. This summer, the sheriff's office concluded its investigation, which found no wrongdoing on the part of staff members. But Wingo's family says his death was preventable. Rochester, New York's police chief and his entire command staff stepping down following the death of Daniel Prude. The chief had been with the department for 20 years. The city's mayor insisting she did not pressure the chief to step down, but she previously criticized him for initially not informing city leaders that officers did use force during his arrest back in March. The police department has come under fire after Prude's family recently released video showing officers pinning him to the ground with a spit hood over his head. His family says he died in part from suffocation. They also told reporters they called police for help because Prude was suffering from a mental health episode. A child shot and killed in Gwinnett County. Homicide detectives working overnight to piece together what happened. Police believe a fight may have started it all. They say they got a call about someone being shot on Bernice Court in Lawrenceville around 7:30 last night. The victim is a boy, but his name and exact age have not been released. Right now, firefighters making progress on a blaze burning in San Diego County, California. Just yesterday, calmer winds gave firefighters a window to attack the Valley Fire That fire has burned more than 17,000 acres, destroying at least 20 homes. About 700 firefighters, 8 air tankers, and 14 helicopters have worked to put out the blaze. This is one of many burning across the state of California. Presidential nominee Joe Biden heading to battleground Michigan today, where nearly 3 million people are expected to vote by mail. Tracy Potts reports.
So good.
President Trump stirring up supporters against Joe Biden.
If Joe Biden gets in, your Second Amendment is gone. It's gone.
And voting by mail.
Sending out millions of unsolicited ballots. Make sure you send the ballot in and then go to your polling place and make sure it counts.
Biden lands in Michigan today. President Trump follows tomorrow. The top election official there is worried. State leaders nationwide say they need another $3 to $4 billion to make this election work during COVID.
More people, more training, and more technology and more infrastructure, more tabulators and the like.
This afternoon, a congressional committee run by Democrats hears from civil rights advocates and public health experts on ensuring a safe and secure election.
Donald Trump failed. Joe Biden will get it done.
Meantime, Biden is unleashing $47 million in new swing state ads this week. The Democrats outspent Team Trump on ads by $18 million last week. President Trump says he'll kick in more out of pocket if needed, just like he did in 2016.
Whatever it takes, we have to win.
4 years ago, President Trump won Michigan by just over 10,000 votes. And 10,000 Michigan absentee ballots were thrown out in the last election, many of them because they arrived too late. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
Georgia's Secretary of State says about 1,000 people may have voted twice in the June primary and the August runoff elections.
There are 1,000 people of that 150,000 that actually double voted, knowing full well that they had filled out an absentee ballot, had mailed it back in, and then showed up on the day of election.
Secretary Brad Raffensperger says possible double votes popped up in 100 counties across the state. He's planning to hand over his findings to the Attorney General. He says the double votes did not decide any races. A big investment to boost economic wealth in Black communities. Up next, we'll introduce you to the women making it all happen and explain how they're doing it.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer you.
A unique approach to bring about change after months of nationwide protest over racial injustice. Two women making a big investment to create economic mobility in the Black community. Natisha Lance shows us how.
Around the country, voices of a growing movement could not be silenced after the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery.
Just kind of sparked something inside of us.
Renee Walters was among the crowd shouting for change. Now she's turning her protest into investment.
We've done the Facebook activism, the protesting, everything. That's not working for us. So it's time for us to action, action, action.
She teamed up with her friend Ashley and 17 other families to buy more than 96 acres near Toomsboro, Georgia. That's about 2 hours outside of Atlanta.
This is our answer to breaking generational curses.
Their inspiration was Black Wall Street, a self-sustaining Black community in Tulsa, Oklahoma back in the 1920s. The Friends wanted to create a place to build generational wealth that can be a safe haven for other Black families.
We're planning on recycling our Black dollar between the 19 families that are a part of our organization. That's what really Black Wall Street was about that local economy, that hyper-local economy.
The group of families, now called the Georgia Freedom Initiative, have a lot of ideas for the land that used to be a lumber farm, but they plan to take their time to create the refuge and change they want to see.
We can't wait for anyone to do anything for us, to come save us. It starts with us.
The Brookings Institution reports the wealth of white families is nearly 10 times greater than Black families. The Georgia Freedom Initiative plans to start development in the next 3 to 4 months, and they eventually want to change the name of the town to Freedom, Georgia.
Freedom, Georgia. We may have a Sheba Russell Street. Right in the downtown area, Sheba Russell Street. You never know, you never know. You're looking at, just the winds starting to pick up a little bit out of the east-northeast, about 9 miles per hour. I think the gusts will be a little bit higher at times today, but other than that, notice those clouds back there building in. This is Georgia's Rome, Georgia's version of Rome, downtown. Maybe rename this street to Russell Street, maybe. All right, the clouds are starting to build in mainly over toward the east. You can see our west, over here toward Rome, just starting to get into some of those clouds. And the rain, I think, will stay over here toward the east as well. Likely, Rome, you won't see any raindrops today. I think if they happen, they'll be popping up mainly east of the city of Atlanta. So over toward Athens, Eatonton, down through Macon, Toccoa, you may be seeing a few sprinkles around. That'll be it. 8 out of a possible 11 today on the barometer, 87 degrees. Your afternoon high temperature under partly sunny skies for today. That 20% chance for the rain. We're kind of sandwiched in between here. We got it off to the east of us. We got it over here to the west of us as well. We're in between, nice and dry. Places like Alabama, Mississippi under full sunshine for this afternoon. Hours fading away, if you will. Thanks to that easterly flow as well, allowing some of the moisture off the Atlantic to come right on in. Our humidity will start to creep up as well. Those temperatures will go down thanks to the extra cloud cover and the chances of rain, which will increase again as we head toward the end of the week and into the weekend. Let's jump off the coast and head over to the ocean. You can see a 30% chance for this cluster of thunderstorms. National Hurricane Center looking at this cluster here, giving it about a 30% chance. that's down to where we were just yesterday. We were up to 40% chance with that. So we'll continue to monitor it because it is moving a little bit back toward the west, toward the coastline. Paulette, pretty much the same. Renee, back to tropical storm status, and now an 80% chance for development with that cluster coming off the coast of Africa. So very active, a nice little train of storms headed in our direction. Let's start with Paulette. Winds up to 60 miles per hour. Yesterday, this time, we're up to 65 miles per hour. So it was on its way to becoming a hurricane, but I think it's going to remain as a tropical storm. That's what the latest track from the Hurricane Center shows us. But here's Bermuda here, that little speck right there in the ocean, and that's where it's headed toward. Again, remaining as a tropical storm. There are some models bending it back away, but it could begin to brush up against Bermuda and then move back. So we'll watch that as well. And then Renee, finally back up to tropical storm status, was down to a tropical depression. Winds now up to 40 miles per hour, moving to the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. It is forecast to become a week. Category 1 hurricane, maybe by tomorrow, and then back down to a tropical storm as it begins to move up to the north as well and lose a lot of its strength, not affecting any landmass at all. As far as our forecast goes, we're looking at the clouds pushing in, mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the afternoon. We'll have that weak chance for a shower or two, again, mainly east of the city of Atlanta, over toward Athens maybe. And then once we get into Thursday, it stretches a little bit further to the west. So we'll have a 40% chance for an isolated shower. Some embedded thunderstorms are certainly possible around the area. And then we'll repeat that process as we head into Friday. We start off with the clouds, and then during the afternoon, here comes those scattered showers popping up. We'll give it a 50% chance on Friday. We'll hold on to that 50% chance as we head through the weekend. Temperatures down just a touch, 85 degrees Saturday, Sunday 86. We're looking at a 50% chance for rain continuing as we head into next week. Don't go anywhere. Much more show coming to you right after the break.
Today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive.
Kids are spending more time in front of screens because of digital learning, but should this cause parents to worry? Let's connect the dots.
For kids in virtual learning, more screen time will be unavoidable this school year, but should parents be worried about children glued to a screen all day long? Let's connect the dots. The question about screen time in kids is one most parents have to grapple with these days. And when it comes to the research, there are not a lot of clear answers. There are some studies that say increased time in front of a screen can lead to higher rates of obesity, and preliminary research suggests it could have some effect on short-term memory. So what do the experts say? Devorah Heitner is a digital media expert who literally wrote the book on kids and screens. Her big takeaway is that not all screen time is created equal. While we may see them playing Minecraft or Roblox as time wasted playing a game, in reality, kids can learn important things about creativity on Minecraft or managing money on Roblox. Also, there is a good chance screens could play a role in their future career, so knowledge and experience with how they work could be essential. But experts do agree time away from the screen is important too, as well as having honest conversations with kids about tech. Heitner told Salon.com kids should know that content online is often designed to be addictive. And if you really want to keep the lines of communication open, you might want to ask your kids how they feel about your screen time.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
In a historic move, the Oscars are adding new diversity requirements to its Best Picture category. If a movie wants to be included in the category, it must meet 2 of the 4 new criteria. At least 1 lead actor or significant supporting actor must be from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. At least 30% of the secondary roles must be from at least 2 of the groups. The storyline, theme, or narrative must be centered on the same groups, and leadership and representation in the creative, marketing, and publicity departments must be from underrepresented groups. Got it? The new standard takes effect in 2024. Thank you so much for watching 11Alive News at noon. More news coming your way starting at 5 p.m. Please stay safe out there, everybody.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but